Armando Baker here.
It's Luke May.
This is Tyler Hansbrough.
University of North Carolina.
It's North Carolina.
I just want to shout out my boy JBear_YT.
JBear_YT.
It's Carolina family, baby.
Go Heels.
Go Heels.
What is up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing our final NBA mock draft, as the NBA draft is only, as of the recording, 2 days away. So it's fastly approaching. Really came out of nowhere. Not necessarily, but it just seems like it's been a short amount of time, because it has been, because, you know, obviously last year's draft was in like October, November, whatever it was. And now here we are back in July. Gotta get some more NBA players, so I'm gonna stop talking. Let's get right into the picks. Detroit Pistons first overall, I believe, will take Cade Cunningham, assuming they stay at that spot. Whoever's in the #1 spot, if the trade does happen or does not happen, I think you're gonna definitely take Cade Cunningham there. Here at #2, we have the Houston Rockets, and I've seen a lot more Jalen Green mocked to the Rockets instead of Evan Mobley. But for me, I just don't like him as a prospect as much as Mobley. I think Mobley's going to end up being a better player, in my opinion. I think Evan Mobley, he can shoot a little bit, and as he gets into NBA development programs and stuff like that, I think he'll be even better shooter. He shot like, 30% last year from 3, I think, in college. So that's really good for a big man. I think he reminds me a little bit of Miles Turner. Can block shots, can play in the post, and also can step outside and hit some jumpers when you need him to. So I think it's a little bit higher ceiling of a player who compares really well to Miles Turner. So I'm going to draft him here second overall, which means at third overall, the Cleveland Cavaliers will take Jalen Green. I'm not sure how that's going to work out with their guard situation. Obviously they already have Sexton and Garland, and adding Jalen Green is going to make things a little crowded. But, you know, they could trade out of the third spot in general and move down in the draft, so they don't have to worry about that. Or they could trade away Sexton or Garland, however they decide to do it. But anyways, #4, the Toronto Raptors are on the clock. And I gotta tell you, man, I'm just not that high on Jalen Suggs. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a lottery talent, top 10 talent for sure. But based on what I saw at Gonzaga last year, I'm not sure that he should go as high as 4 here. I think long-term development, Jonathan Kuminga has a higher ceiling, but also a much lower floor. But I will end up going Jalen Suggs here. But knowing that there wasn't too many better options, I will go Jalen Suggs here, though. All right, at 5th overall, the Orlando Magic are on the clock. And I think Orlando's at the point where they're not in win mode. They have pretty much no intentions of winning anytime soon, I guess. So I am going to go Jonathan Kuminga. Got a really, really high floor, but a really, really high ceiling, but the floor is extremely low. Like, his floor could end up being like Michael Gilchrist type stuff. So, yeah, Jonathan Kuminga there at 5, really high potential player there. At 6, OKC Thunder are going to take Scotty Barnes, the best player available. They pretty much need all they can get. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pretty much their only sure thing on that roster, so I'm going to go with Scotty Barnes here at this spot. And here at 7, the Golden State Warriors have a selection here. And I'm going to slightly change things up from the last mock draft I did at this point. I'm going to go with a guy who's more of a scorer than Davion Mitchell is, although he can score the basketball. I'm going to go with a surprise here, James Bouknight out of UConn. Didn't shoot great percentage-wise from 3, but I know he can shoot the 3 ball. He's going to develop that as he gets into the NBA, but talk about a bucket, man. James Bouknight is a bucket, and possibly be that backup 2 guard behind Klay Thompson this next year. So 8th overall pick, the Orlando Magic are back on the clock. And looking at their roster down here, they do have Cole Anthony, who I was so underrated in last year's draft. He's really good. So he's not the answer. Actually, I don't know. He might be the answer point guard. I really like him. But I'm going to pass on the point guard spot here. I'm going to go with Franz Wagner out of Michigan there. Got a lot of potential as a defensive player and offensive player in the NBA. Number 9, the Sacramento Kings. They love drafting their Duke players, but I don't think you can draft Jalen Johnson as in the lottery, in my opinion. But I think with Davion Mitchell on the board, he can be that backup one guard behind De'Aaron Fox and really get you some good production there. So Davion Mitchell is a pick. Number 10, Memphis Grizzlies are on the clock. And at this spot, I don't want, like I said in the last mock draft, I don't want Josh Giddey and Ja Morant playing together. I just don't like that fit whatsoever. A fit I do think would work really pretty dang well would be Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga. Guy who can shoot the 3 ball, one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the entire class there. 11th, the Charlotte Hornets are on the clock. And I would go with the center here, Alperen Sengun. If he was one of those guys who played in college and I knew more about him, I have more confidence in making that pick. But I kind of want to go with the college guy just because I can see him with my own eyes, like playing on TV here and there and in the highlights and all that kind of stuff, and just know more what he's about. So I'm going to go Moses Moody. I think he's rated up pretty low on this draft board. I think he's definitely going to end up going higher than that. There's been a lot of rumors that the Hornets are looking into a guy like Kai Jones or Isaiah Jackson, which, don't get me wrong, we need center / power forward type guys. I'm not sure if we should be reaching for them at that spot. If we want to do that, we could trade down a few spots. But anyways, here at number 12, the San Antonio Spurs are on the clock. I think they're just going to go best player available, and for me, that's Josh Giddey out of Australia. He could develop as a point guard similar to Ben Simmons, but better scoring, worse at defense. So yeah, Josh Giddey there. Number 13, the Indiana Pacers are on the clock here. And I think Jalen Johnson keeps falling. Keon Johnson, obviously he broke the record for highest vert in NBA Combine history, which was like absolutely insane to think about. Did not expect that whatsoever. But with the mindset that they could be moving on from Sabonis or Miles Turner, you're going to need another guy who can be in the post for you. And I think that is Alperen Sengun out of Turkey. The Golden State Warriors are back with their second pick of the draft. They took James Bouknight, 7th overall. So here at 14, excuse me, this is a tough one. I'm going to go power forward because I'm not sure Draymond Green's the answer anymore, which it doesn't seem like a hot take, but like I just don't see it. So Usman Garuba is going to be my pick here for the Warriors. Number 15, the Wizards are on the clock. I'm going to go with a guy in Keon Johnson, who I think could be I like him a lot as a defensive prospect. I think he could be really good on that side of the ball if he just develops more. Number 16, the Oklahoma State Thunder are on with their second pick of the draft after taking Scotty Barnes with their first selection. And here, I could see them taking a high upside guy in Jalen Johnson. But I mean, I'm just slow on him. I just really am. It's not even the Duke factor. It's just, I just don't see it personally. I like Sharif Cooper a lot. Another guy I like a lot who is lower on this board is Chris Duarte out of Oregon. But I'm going to go with Sharif Cooper. Mike can play alongside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and be a great scoring guard that team definitely needs. Number 17, the New Orleans Pelicans are on the clock, and goodness, they might as well be Duke University. So I'm going to give them Jalen Johnson to be like their 6th Duke player on the roster or whatever. Now, OKC at 18 with their third pick of the draft, they're taking Scotty Barnes and Sharif Cooper. So here, might as well just go highest upside. And for me, the highest upside in this spot is Isaiah Jackson out of Kentucky. He's a guy who's apparently still growing. I'm not sure what his height is at this point, but apparently he's got the height to be a true NBA center. That said, he was 6'11". I didn't look that in college, obviously, but got a lot of potential. Some of the most potential left on the board available. New York Knicks at 19. They need a point guard of the future because Derrick Rose is not going to be that forever. But of the guys available, I'm not sure that there is a point guard of the future. But if there was going to be one, it would be Trey Mann out of Florida. So I'm going to take him there. Number 20, the Atlanta Hawks, who are a really surprising team once they got rid of their old head coach and brought in the new one. So here at 20, could go with a backup point guard that actually plays defense and Jared Butler. That seems like a really good fit, and I actually like that a lot. So I'm actually gonna go with that. That actually sounds really good for the Atlanta Hawks roster. The New York Knicks at 21st overall. This is tough. I want to go center here. Kai Jones can play center, but it's not necessarily his preferred role. Yeah, I'll go with Kai Jones here. Kai Jones. Okay, Los Angeles Lakers at 22nd overall. I made this selection last time. I'm going to go with Trey Murphy. He can be a good 3-and-D player at the next level. Houston Rockets at 23rd overall. So just go best player available. And after passing on Evan Mobley at Jalen Green's the second pick, I think they'll take a guy who's kind of like, in my opinion, like an older, not as athletic version of him. So let's go with Chris Duarte out of Oregon. And the Rockets with another pick here. Just going best player available, I'm going to go with Jaden Springer. Got a lot of potential there. Clippers at 25th overall. Need a point guard of the future because Pat Bev is not going to be the point guard of the future, obviously. They might also have to be replacing Kawhi Leonard after the season, depending on what he wants to do. So this is going to be either point guard or small forward. Small forward is not looking very hot right now. Zaire Williams could play small forward. Yeah, he definitely could, but I'm not very high on Zaire Williams at this moment. Nashawn Highland, I actually am very high on. Could develop into the point guard of the future. I'm not going to lie. I am that high on him. I'm going to go with Nashawn Highland out of VCU here. I like that pick. Nuggets at 26th overall. I'm going to give them a wing who can shoot the basketball. Cameron Thomas is an absolute bucket. I think he can do that really well for the team. Doesn't need to necessarily have the ball in his hands at all times to be impactful. He's an absolute bucket, though. Cameron Thomas. Nets 27th. I think the perfect fit here is Day'Ron Sharpe. If he falls to 27th, they need a guy. The Nets need a guy who can just go out there, get some offensive and defensive rebounds, and honestly be an underrated passer as a big man. As I watched him a lot at UNC this past year. So yeah, I love the Day'Ron Sharpe to the Brooklyn fit. But he might not fall that far. 28th, the 76ers are on the clock. Looking like they may need to replace Ben Simmons because the playoffs were really rough on Ben Simmons. So they might be trading him there. So with that said, not sure. Yeah, I'll go Miles McBride here out of West Virginia. Suns at 29th overall. I'm going to go with a backup center they can really use right now. Having to put Frank Kaminsky in there kind of did hurt him a little bit in this playoff run. Not getting them the championship they were desiring, obviously. I'm going to go Charles Bassey out of Western Kentucky. And with the 30th and final pick in this mock draft, the Utah Jazz are on the clock. And I think, let me just scroll through and see if there's anyone I'm missing as like a best player available that they just don't have highly on their boards. I'm probably higher on Jeremiah Robinson Earl than most, but he's definitely not a first rounder. I'm not going to go that far. Ayo Dosunmu could be a good selection here. Not very high on JT Thor. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Ayu Dosunmu. Get the best player available, in my opinion. So, guys, that's the final 2021 NBA mock draft. Let me know what you think in the comments about this mock draft down below. Please like, subscribe, comment, turn on post notifications, do all that YouTube stuff, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.